Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. The topic for today: mind wreaks havoc. So, what is understood here is the mind that is not monitored wreaks havoc. Mind per se doesn't wreak it. Mind per se never causes this problem. It is the ungoverned mind. That mind has to be governed. Governing the mind will be a priority only when you understand mind as the problem. Governing the mind will be a priority only when you understand mind is the problem. Governing the mind will be the only priority when you understand only the mind causes problem. So first either you understand mind is the problem or you understand mind is the only problem. As long as we are convinced about external factors also as a cause, we will be worried about external factors only. That is why we will talk about the external factors, correcting the external factors, and finally saying nothing can be done, what to do. We'll talk about correcting the external factors. We will talk about setting things right externally. Why? Because still the conviction isn't there. What? Mind is not the problem. To top it all, constant discourses will be given to others also. To top it all, constant discourses will be given to the others. It is not random one. It is not just random one or two. Everybody goes through this phase. Only difference is long or short. That's all. Where want to give a discourse to others. Again, as any other problem, you won't even know that you are giving a discourse. That is the problem. As in any other thing related to the mind, you won't even know that you are giving a discourse. So that mind needs to be monitored. You follow what I'm saying? So you don't understand mind is the problem. You don't understand treating the mind is the handling the mind is the priority, the only priority. And you also don't understand how the mind shifts the attention out of itself. How the mind shifts the attention out of itself by giving a discourse to another. That is why we have this group discussion to see how much focus is on the other. One person makes one sentence, one person makes one word, the whole lot will pounce on that person, tear that person open for nothing. Why? Because the attention is on. Why? Shankar. Attention is on correction. Why the attention is on correction? Why the attention is on correction? The attention is on correction because of the deep-rooted notion that I am perfect, or having come in contact with the knowledge. Previously, I wasn't perfect. Now I am perfect, or I am on the path to perfection. Isavasi Upanishad says, class you are in darkness. After coming to the classes, you are in blinding darkness. Greater than the blinding. And why do people even come here? He's asking. I'm not saying that, Ram Subramaniam. Isavasi Upanishad அவர் சொல்றாரு. Yeah. In Isavasi Upanishad, he says, if it is darkness, here it is blinding darkness. Because deep-rooted conviction is this: what? My mind is the only source of all my problems. Take it or leave it. The one and only source of all my problems is my mind only. Full stop. You can hear it a million times. You will give a discourse to somebody else about all this, but deep inside you, you are not convinced. Because I'm moving with everybody. No, I know. Yeah. I'm moving with everybody. I'm talking to everybody. No, I know. Why such a deep-rooted conviction, such a deep-rooted notion? Why not others also come here? Why should others come here in the first place? First of all, why did you come? Why did you come in the first place? Wanting the mind to be, wanting your personality to be changed. You came here because you want a change. Why somebody is not here? Because they don't want a change. Where is the problem? You follow? That's why one of the most difficult thing in Vedanta is getting convinced about the location of the problem. Getting convinced about the location. What is the location? Mind is the problem. But sir, I have handled my mind, but I'm seeing others in pain. No. But I'm seeing others getting agitated, but I'm seeing others getting disturbed. What should I do to help them? What should I do to help them? Right now, the one and only help is to stay quiet. If at all you really want to help anybody, if at all you really want to be of some use to somebody, only thing that you got to do is what? Talk anything and everything other than Vedanta. Talk anything, but other than this, talk any subject under the sun. That's okay. Why? Because if you have to help somebody, you need to know how the mind works. And to know how the mind works, you can't look at the 100 minds outside. The one and only way to know how the mind works is by going inward and seeing how your mind is working and handling it. If you have done that alone, you can deal with the mind. If you have not gone inward and handled the mind and monitored it, you can never ever give any meaningful advice to anybody. At the most, you can say what you have memorized from the discourses. At the most, you can repeat it. That you can do. What is the greatest disservice in that? What is the greatest disservice in that? You are doing a tremendous disservice to the knowledge and to the other person. When you are talking about it, you are doing a tremendous disservice to knowledge and to the other person. How it is disservice to the other person? Because just as you can see very clearly that how other is a victim of their mind, the other also can see that you are a victim. Again, I repeat, just as you can see very clearly that the other is the victim of their mind, they can also see very clearly that how you are also a victim. Therefore, the words won't have that inspiration, motivation. You may be saying the right thing, but the words will not carry the strength. The words will not carry it will be a lifeless word. The word won't have any meaning at all. Not only it will not have any meaning, it will put off the other person from the very pursuit of knowledge itself. But sir, I'm doing it with good intentions only. Intentions doesn't make the actions right. You need to know how to act also. If intentions alone can make the actions right, you won't have any problem at all. The problem is not the intention alone. You need to have the knowledge too. You need to have the skill too. My intention is to save the life of my daughter. I cut open her stomach to cure the appendix. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm murdering her. Correct? I'm only murdering her. My intention is to save her. But I need to understand that with my intention, I can only sit and pray. Action I cannot do. Are you able to follow the difference? With my intention, I can only sit and pray. I cannot take it up as an action. Why I cannot take it up as an action? I cannot take it up because I myself don't know. And if I do it, I'm actually murdering her only. See, between the doctor and me, who's more interested in the welfare of my daughter? Obviously, it's me. Obviously, it's me only. Because for the doctor, it is only, oh, I tried, sir, what to do? I'm sorry. The doctor will go, isn't it? So who's more interested in the welfare? Me. Isn't it? Who's more affectionate? It's me. So does all this justify me taking up the knife and opening the stomach? And again, the knife use பண்ணனும் கூட தெரியாது, isn't it? I won't even know which knife to use. Similarly, on a gross body level itself, if it is so subtle, how much more subtle it is to deal with the mind? How much more difficult it is? How much more complicated it is? How much more effort and patience and everything is required to deal with the mind? Very difficult. But people misunderstand it as very easy. They say, what is சொல்றது, isn't it? How many times to repeat it? How many times to repeat it? Many janmas you have to repeat. Many janmas you have to keep repeating. For the mind is that. Are you able to follow? The mind is that. That mind needs to be monitored. Why the mind needs to be monitored? Because the mind has a tendency of ensuring the attention is always outside. Ensuring that the attention is always outside. And your external attention gets justified if you take a moral stance of, I'm only helping you. Again, I repeat. Srikant, purida? If I say that my only interest is to help you, immediately what happens? My attention, I have a better justification to keep my attention on the external. Therefore, there are these two things now. What are the two things? The mind that needs to be monitored because it has a tendency to be extrovert. It will naturally look outward only. It will not look inward. It cannot look inward. It's naturally designed to be that way. When we say naturally designed to be that way, why can't we just leave it? It's natural, no. Why can't we just leave it? Why do we have to sit and worry about all the? Why can't we just leave it and go along with it? Why can't I live life like that? What is the problem if I live life like this? The problem is you should not come back and say, how do I get rid of my worry and anxiety? How do I get rid of my stress? How do I get rid of my fear? How do I get rid of my insecurity? Since this is the problem, if you want solution from all this, this is the way. What is the way? The mind that needs monitoring. Why it needs monitoring? It has a tendency to go outward. Because it has a tendency to go outward, what it will do? It will pick up likes and dislikes. It will pick up likes and dislikes. Having picked up likes and dislikes, it gets attached. So, two things. What is it? Likes and dislikes, and then attachment. Likes and dislikes is an expectation that likes and dislikes is an expectation that the world must always be catering to you, conducive to you. That is likes and dislikes. What is likes and dislikes? The world must always cater to you. Everything must be conducive for you all the time. Anything that provides you, you will get attached to that. Anything that provides you, what will happen? You will be attached to that. Are you able to follow? This is attachment. So likes and dislikes and attachment. The mind that is not monitored comes with a set of likes and dislikes and attachment and creates further new attachments. Mind is that which has to claim possessiveness. Mind is that which has to say mine. It has to say it's mine. Something has to be there to call it as mine. If something isn't there, some disease they will pick up and say my disease, my disease, my disease. And you tell that person you look very healthy today, that person will get angry, isn't it? Why? Because their attachment is taken away. Either they'll be attached to an object, or they'll be attached to a being, or they'll be attached to a few. When all this isn't there, attachment will not go. Now, what will they get attached to? They'll get attached to the body. Getting attached to the body means what? Health, isn't it? Constantly talking about health, isn't it? Intermittent fasting, isn't it? Previously, it was something else. And then now it is intermittent fasting. And then only water. And then only, I don't know what all they will talk about. They get attached to the body. What is attachment to the body means? What you don't understand is it doesn't really matter what it is, but something the mind has to say as mine. It's not that the mind needs the noblest, the best, and the wonderful thing and all to say as mine. Mind has to say mine. What it is irrelevant. What it is irrelevant. You understand this mind, you will know why it has to be monitored. Mind has to get attached. To what it gets attached doesn't matter. To what it gets attached doesn't, because it is the object of attachment is irrelevant. What is relevant here? Attachment is what is relevant here, not what it is. Or whatsoever you are attached will look or whatsoever you look attached will look very holy to you. That's all. Again, are you able to follow? Whatsoever you are attached to will look very holy to you. Whatsoever you are attached will look very beautiful to you, isn't it? And to what you are attached? To what you are attached? You are attached to yourself, not to any object, not to any being. Yajnavalkya has established it very clearly to the wife Maitreyi. Any attachment is attachment to yourself only. The other doesn't exist at all. Are, he says, oh my dear wife, the husband is not dear for the sake of the husband, but for the sake of the self. Self means my avladanga. It is the my that is interesting there. Nothing else you want. Now, what it is of no consequence. You see, that's why that Laila Majnu, when in the eyes of everybody, when she was looking ugly, in his eyes, she was divine, she was angel, she was beautiful, divine, angel. When everybody around said, what is it? Are you able to follow? So, that it is the attachment. You follow? That's why in philosophy, we always ask this question. Because it is beautiful, you get attached, or it is appearing beautiful because of your attachment. Are you able to understand the question? Vijay, Purita? Nalla irukudunradhanaala you got attached, or because of your attachment, it appears to be so. What is the reality? Because of your attachment, it appears so. Are you able to follow? Because of your attachment, it is appearing so. Why? The same is not looking in the eyes of somebody else. In the eyes of somebody else, it is obnoxious, isn't it? In your eyes, it is wondrous, beautiful. In the eyes of somebody, it is, they can't even stand it. Somebody says it's okay, okay. But nevertheless, what? Nevertheless, what is the difference? This is the difference. Are you able to follow? This mind needs monitoring. This mind needs monitoring. So what? It has a tendency to be extrovert all the time, picking up likes and dislikes, getting attached, always wanting to correct the other, always wanting to correct the other. But sir, it will be very conducive if I am correcting myself and the wife is also correcting herself. Family life will be good, no? Vijay. அப்படிலாம் நடக்கவே நடக்காது இல்லையா? Don't dream. Don't live in hallucinations. Don't live in dreams. For monitoring your mind is unconnected to the other. Handling your mind, monitoring your mind is unconnected to the other. You do it rightly, chances are they can pick it up. And the way you do it now, even the little bit of things they have also run away, isn't it? They run away. How to monitor the mind? Daffodils, he touched upon it very lightly. The daffodils, he touched upon it rightly, which we finished last week. Why the mind has to be monitored? Because the mind wreaks havoc. Why this mind needs monitoring? Please understand, the mind wreaks havoc means how you should read it as. The mind wreaks havoc. That's how it's in the book. When you read it, how you should read? My mind nu padichalna you are okay. That's all. Yeah, my mind nu padikadhu. My mind, if you read instead of the mind, Ram Subramaniam, start reading it as my mind. Then you are all right. Then you know how to read. Then you know how to approach the subject. The mind, as though some mind there somewhere troubling somebody. It's not like that. The mind means within brackets. What you should put? My mind. Let us see how my mind is causing. Let us read now how my mind is causing this havoc. Particular. The mind wreaks havoc.
The mind wreaks havoc. With the lack of control by the intellect, the unrestrained mind can cause considerable damage. The extent of damage suffered at different facets of human life is briefly covered below. 1. The minds of personnel left unchecked, uncontrolled, develop avarice, greed for unlimited wealth and power. The pressures mount in the absence of intellectual governance. With the result, financial institutions resort to limitless lending while the concerned parties indulge in indiscriminate borrowing. And both gravitate to financial losses and crashes, culminating in bankruptcy. Such actions, lacking intellectual acumen, would create, besides economic crisis, severe mental agitation in them. 2. At the physical level, a mind bereft of intellectual guidance excessively indulges in sensual pleasures of the world. As a result, people not only lose their energy and strength, but the very pleasure they derive therefrom. Hence, you would need a well-governed mind even to enjoy the pleasures of the world. Another problem relating to the body is the mind's tendency to laze and avoid physical exercises, causing a loss of fitness and health. Here again, the mind would need the active supervision of the intellect to observe a disciplined life with a proper schedule of food intake and exercises for the body. 3. At the emotional level, the mind could cause damage to a person if its feelings and emotions have their own way. At every moment of his life, they have to be steered by the intellect in the right direction. To cite a few examples, a child may scream to avoid a life-saving vaccine. Her mother's emotions may rise and even stop the doctor from giving her the pain and suffering of the vaccine. This could prove fatal to the child. The intellect, therefore, must overpower such surface emotions and administer the vaccine, though painful. Likewise, an elderly person suffering from acute diabetes may be fond of sweets. He may emotionally crave for them, but the doctor does not yield to his mind's craving. He strictly maintains the rational stance: no more sweets. In either case, to quote William Shakespeare, you may have to be sometimes cruel, only to be kind. 4. At the intellectual level, people adopt different political stances, mostly based on the mind's herd instinct to follow the masses. When the intellect is powerful, a person analyzes his political options and chooses that which he reckons most appropriate. But the general tendency among humans is to yield to the pressure of the mind. Thus, one takes to communism in a communist country, takes to capitalism in a capitalist country, so on. It is the play of the mind rather than one's intellectual discretion. 5. At the spiritual level, people with the mind dominating over a weak intellect take to the religion of their family. They succumb to blind belief and fanatic adherence to their particular religion. That has caused bitterness and antagonism in the society. As a result, the human race has reached a critical state. Therefore, to ensure success and progress in both your material and spiritual life, you need to take the expressway of your intellect to avoid the side lanes of the mind slipping into dire consequences.
Now, how it causes havoc. Havoc means damage that takes a lot of time and effort to set it right. Havoc means it's a damage. Damage that takes a lot of time and effort to set it right, where it can be avoided. It is not that, it's not under your control. It's not like the hurricane. It's not like the tornado. It's not like the tsunami, where it's not under your control. Here, this havoc is something which can be completely avoided, which can be completely prevented, which is under your control. But people are not doing it, is what he is saying. So, what is the analysis here? the analysis is the life is divided into 7 aspects. Even though it is 5, 2 are included in that. So literally speaking, life is divided into various aspects. The various aspects in which life is divided is material, physical, action, relationship, knowledge, intellect, religion. These are the various aspects in which it has been broken down. In each and everything you need for each and everything you need a intellect. Okay. At the material level, people talk about standard of living, isn't it? The life standard has to increase from a 2-bedroom apartment to the 4-bedroom, from the 4-bedroom to a villa, from the villa to something else. So they believe that the focus is what the mind, because of the misunderstanding, believes that the moment the standard of living is bettered, quality of life will be better. Difference purida, the connection, how the mind is connecting weirdly. And the entire humanity is a victim of this connection. Again, they believe that the quality of life will improve if the standard of life becomes better. Are you able to follow? Vedanta comes and says quality of life and the material level has no connection. Have no connection means he's not saying don't take it. He's not saying don't go for it. He's saying don't make that connection. Are you able to follow? First thing, standard of living. What is standard of living? Okay. To put it very simply, how your life is, you want your children's life to be better than that. Correct? That's what it means. Are you able to follow? You have certain life, and you want the life of your children to be as yours or worst. Will you be satisfied as yours? Will you be satisfied if worst? What do you want? You want better. Yeah. How to make it better? How to make it better? If I'm studying in the government school, I'll go to a private school. If I studied in the private school, I want my daughter to go to international school, isn't it? If I studied a degree in the local university, I want my child to study in a university abroad. Correct? Why can't I say study in the same university? Why can't I say study in the same school? Why can't I say study in the same university? No. Standard must. Are you able to follow? Because standard, when the standard rises, what will rise? Automatically quality is better. Are you able to follow? They'll be more happy. They'll be more secure, correct? In this school, I didn't feel any security. In this university, I didn't feel any secure. But what makes me to believe that there they will find it more? Are you able to follow? So quality of life means what? They will feel more secure. they'll feel more happy, etc. In order to do that, carefully follow. In order to do that, what do people do? That's what he said. He straight away started talking about limitless lending, limitless borrowing. Limitless lending and limitless borrowing. Have you ever observed most of the time that borrowing is always justified for the betterment of somebody else? You ever noticed that? I'm doing it not for myself, sir. For the sake of family, I have to. For the sake of others, I have to do. In our Bhaskar's terminology, constructive purposes, isn't it? Yeah, he only said it. A loan for constructive purposes is okay, no, sir. I don't know, whatever constructive purposes it is. What is the standard of life? Standard of life must, if the standard of life is improved, quality of life becomes automatic. Are you able to follow? What people don't understand is standard of living has got nothing to do with the quality of life. The quality of life is intellectual governance over the mind. It is intellectual governance over the mind that makes your life having a quality or not. Are you able to follow? This is at the level of the material level. Vedanta is not saying don't increase your strength. Vedanta is not saying don't go for more. It's only saying what? Don't convince yourself that if you have this, life will be better. Are you able to follow? That connection, do not make that connection. That is at the material. That is at the material level. Is it okay? Is it okay? Yes.
So standard and quality are not the same.
Yes.
They don't mean the same.
They don't mean the same. English professor, no, she will ask all these questions only. Yeah, she's an English professor. Cambridge professor she is. But standard, quality, all that I get very confused with it's a very common usage that people have, standard of living. Why do they want? I want to improve my standard. Are you able to follow? I want to improve my. What does improving my standard means? What does it mean? In a layperson's term, don't worry about what Shankaracharya is saying. In a layperson's term, what is standard of living? Better facilities, correct? Better facilities. When better facility, why better facility? So that the quality of life improves. That's the reason. Why better facility? So that the quality of life is improving. Quality of life has got nothing to do with the external facilities. Quality of life is determined by the intellectual suzerainty over the mind. It means at the material level, mind indiscriminately wants what the intellect does. How does the intellect monitor it now? Are you able to follow? Mind indiscriminately wants. How does the intellect monitor? The intellect monitors and says, no, stay at your level. This is the difference between in the name of raising the standard of living, hoping to get quality of life. What is quality of life? See, we all understand quality of life is the peace of mind. We all understand quality of life means security, where you are peaceful, where you feel secure. We understand that as good quality. But what are we doing about it? That's what we are discussing. Are you able to follow? Standard of living versus quality of life at the material level itself. Indiscriminately they go on. Indiscriminately they go on. And the way to do that is what? The wrong method. What is the wrong method they use? Borrow. The wrong method is borrow. But sir, economy grows only if, yeah, economy grows. Yeah. அஞ்சு மணிக்கு கிளாஸ்க்கு வாங்கன்னா 7 மணிக்கு இன்வெஸ்டர் மீட்டிங் இருக்கு, வர முடியாதுன்னு என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? Shankar, not you, you're not. I'm not talking about the Shankar here. He said there is a class at 5 o'clock, come up, no, I cannot come. Why? Because 7 o'clock we are having investors meeting. Where is the focus still? Are you able to follow? Where is the focus still? That is what is going to make life better. இது ஊர்கா மாதிரி அப்பப்போ வச்சுக்கலாம், அவ்வளவுதான். But this is not going to save the life. For what is going to save the life? It is the wealth that is going to save the life. Therefore, priority is to what? Therefore, priority will be always given to save and protecting the wealth. Why? Because, sir, wealth எல்லாம் இருந்தா தான் சார் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணவே முடியும். Yeah. The connection. Are you able to follow? The mind gives an exaggerated value to the wealth. Since it has given exaggerated value to the wealth, it wants to borrow and enjoy it now. Wants to borrow. And has anybody become wealthy by borrowing? Nobody has become wealthy by borrowing, and yet everybody will borrow. The mind wreaks havoc at the material level. Then comes the physical. Yes.
So by quality of life, you mean peace, security, happiness?
Yes. Yes. Quality of life means yes.
So increasing the number of rooms or increasing the place or schools and all is not going to bring peace, security, happiness, is what Vedanta says.
What she is asking is, that's the example I gave. The example I gave is that from 3-bedroom house, you go to a villa, will you be more peaceful? Will you be more secure? Don't say no. Your mind is believing in it. Say yes. Then you will learn something. If you say no, are you able to follow? Don't say no. You should say, at least you should have the honesty to say yes. Then there is a possibility. You follow? Is it going to bring happiness? The answer is no, sir. It's not going to bring happiness. And yet the entire focus is on that. Are you able to follow? This is how the mind wreaks havoc. Are you able to follow? The next level of attachment. First level is the wealth. The second is what? Body. So in relation to the body, again, either pampering, excess identification, or getting a heart attack because of exercising. Are you able to follow? If people are dying because of not exercising, there is a whole lot of people dying because of exercising. So doctor has to say exercise. Doctor has to say don't exercise also. Because one is dying because of not exercising. Another is dying because of exercising, isn't it? Are you able to follow? Why? the mind gets excessively attached. So the mind gets excessively attached to the body, either pampering the senses or fitness. This is how the mind wreaks havoc. Are you able to follow? Even few days back, one of the persons here very close to me said there was a death in the close family, and the reason is they are saying so many people I'm hearing in the last few years, death because of exercising, death because of so much attention on the body, so attentive to the physical body. How does a strong intellect helps? The intellect says body is an instrument of perception and action, and you have to keep it reasonably fit. Again, I repeat. How does a strong intellect helps? Are you able to follow? A strong intellect comes and says it is an instrument of perception and action. Without the body, perceptions are not possible. Without the body, actions is not possible. Since perception and actions is possible through the body, it has to be kept reasonably fit. Diseases cannot be avoided. Deterioration cannot be avoided. Are you able to follow? Deterioration cannot be avoided. Diseases cannot be avoided, because that is the nature of the body itself. But the mind, because of excessive attachment to the body, goes in extremes. One person will say, anyway, I'm going to die. No, might as well eat and die. Isn't it? One person will say, anyway, I'm going to die. No, sir. I think might as well nalla saaptu sethu polam, isn't it? Why diet restriction? This mango season is coming. Don't eat mangoes. And the next, and the jackfruit season will come. Don't eat jackfruit. Then what to eat? Yeah, neem fruit only to eat, isn't it? You can't eat mango fruit. You can't eat jackfruit. Only neem fruit you can eat. One person will say, what is the point of living a life like that? For anyway, I'm going to, isn't it? Either the mind takes to this extreme or it goes to the other extreme. Or it goes to the other extreme. Intellect says, keep the body reasonably fit. And it is very easy to keep the body fit and all. Isn't it? Only two things to keep the body fit. Only two principles are required. That's all. A discomfort before eating and no discomfort after eating. That's all. It's a simple common sense formula. A discomfort before eating. What is the discomfort? Hunger. So the discomfort of hunger before eating. No discomfort after eating. What is the discomfort after eating? Prasad, what is the discomfort after eating? Overeating. Nalla irukudhu, sir. Yeah, very nice. Have one more. Are you able to follow? That's all. In order to not to pamper the body, just these two. One. Second is what? Keep the body mobile. Exercise. So keep the body mobile, exercise. உடனே எந்த ஜிம்முக்கு போகணும், என்ன எக்யூப்மெண்ட் வாங்கணும், what to do, all that is not required. When we say all that is not required means, we're not saying do it. By doing it, there's an excessive attachment that makes the person do all this. Are you able to follow? Therefore, at the level of the body, it indulges. The third aspect of life now. What is the third aspect of life now? Action. The third aspect of life is action. Yes.
So you say that in the first one, you said that if you are shifting from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, it is not going to bring quality, which is 3 secondary happiness. But what is the right understanding?
You're going back to wealth.
In all those examples, what is the right understanding?
The question that she is asking is in relation to wealth. She's saying she's still stuck in the first part, the wealth. What is the right understanding behind wealth? If you remember, in one of the sessions previously, I think lesson 3, we studied a lot about the psychology of wealth. We discussed a lot about wealth. Vijay, in the text la dhampa padchom aduvum. Yeah, I remember. In this text only, we discussed a lot about the psychology of wealth. What is wealth? How to understand wealth. What did we discuss there? Wealth is that which is necessary for a transactional purpose. It has got more of it or less of it, has got nothing to do with the quality of life. Are you able to follow? More of it or less of it is not going to give any, more of it or less of it is not going to make any difference to it. For what is wealth? We studied there. If you remember, we studied that in detail. What is wealth? We think wealth means currency, no? Wealth means what? Assets, properties, currency, bank account. Yes, this is what wealth means. Don't say no. If you say no, you have to go back to basic 6th standard social science economics, isn't it? Wealth means what? Assets, property, currency, idallam dhan wealth. Are you able to follow? This is what wealth is. Now, the logic is what? The logic of attachment to wealth. We discussed it very deeply there. The logic of attachment to wealth is what? The misunderstanding that you have a tremendous attachment to wealth. The tremendous misunderstanding that you have in attachment to wealth is because you believe it can be purchased. If you know that it can't be purchased, you will have no value to wealth. Again, I repeat, value to wealth comes only when there is a conviction that it can be purchased. Okay, the children play with monopoly money. You understand the game monopoly money? Will you have any value for that money? Will you have any value for that currency? No value you will have for that. Why? Why? Because you can't purchase anything with it. Why no value? Why no value? Because nothing can be purchased. Are you able to follow? In the play school, the child is given a project. In the play school, the child is given a project. The project is bring 4-5 Mahatma Gandhi's smiling face stuck in a paper. School project. The school project given to the play school child is what? Bring Mahatma Gandhi's picture. Where does the child find Mahatma Gandhi's picture in the house? Srikanth. Where does the child find Mahatma Gandhi's picture in the house? Currency, isn't it? What the child will do? It's a paper. For the child, it's a paper. So what the child will do? Take 4-5 papers, start cutting and sticks. What do you get? Ravi, what do you get? You get a heart attack, no? Isn't it? Are you a brainless child? Will anybody? Why? What is the difference between that paper and this paper? Value இருக்குது சார் இதுக்கு. Yeah, don't generalize. Have the clarity. What is the clarity? With this, you can go and purchase. With this, you can go and purchase. Are you able to follow? Attachment to wealth is because of what? With this, it can be purchased. The moment you understand it cannot be purchased with that, your attachment reduces. Are you able to follow? You know what to use it for, you know what not to use it for. Are you able to follow now? So, standard of living is nothing but purchasing more and more, correct? Buying more and more. When you buy more and more, when you purchase more and more, what happens? You get attached. Are you able to follow? All religions are against money. You know that? They are not against wealth. All religions are against accumulation of wealth. And they are the most wealthiest people. Huh? Are you able to follow? They are not against wealth. They are against the concept that it can be bought, can be purchased. So attachment to wealth is because of what? Attachment to wealth is because of what? Because it can be purchased. Are you able to follow? Wealth is a beautiful commodity, a very scientific way of exchanging things. That's all. Wealth is a very scientific way of exchanging things. Without wealth, people, what were they exchanging? 3 classes I spent on that. Are you able to follow? Wealth is a very scientific way of exchanging things. It's a beautiful invention of human being. Wealth. All over the world, there was a barter system. And the barter system was very inefficient. You know why? Why the barter system was very inefficient? I remember the example I gave also in that class. Nobody will remember. I remember that example. The example that I gave is this. You have a cow and you want to purchase a horse. What will you do? You know, in the barter system, it is impossible. You have a cow and you want to purchase a horse. It will be a whole lifetime task. Are you able to follow? Why? You have to find a person who wants to sell a horse and purchase a cow. Otherwise, you can't do anything. Do you understand that? Huh? You all understand? Srikanth, purida? Just you have to find a human being willing to do exactly the opposite. You may find people who have horses to sell, but they do not want your but they do not want your cow. There are people interested in buying your cow, but they don't have horses. What do? Naturally, it was like a stagnant society. Naturally, it was very stagnant. So what they did, well, wealth was discovered. Money made it so simple. All that needed is what? The man who wants to sell the cow need not search for the person who wants to sell the horse. All that he has to do is what? Exchange the cow for the currency, take the currency, go and buy the horse. Wealth become the medium of exchange. Are you able to follow? In that they are buying and selling. They thought, carefully follow now. In that buying and selling, what they missed? What they missed? Everything can be bought. Everything is available for a price. Are you able to follow? Everything can be bought and everything is available for a price. If a person falls for 100 rupees, another person will fall for, somebody will fall for 100 rupees, another will fall for a million, or another will fall for a 10 million. Are you able to follow? Nevertheless, what is wealth? It cannot be purchased. Are you okay till now? See, the second beauty, this is the real beauty of wealth. The real beauty of wealth is you can enjoy only by spending it. Isn't it? Nothing will happen. What you need to do is what? You have to give it away. So it is not having that is joy. You have to let go of it. But people don't let go of it. Are you able to follow now? This is the psychology of wealth. Next one that we studied, are you okay? Next one that, yes.
So you mean to say that peace, security, happiness cannot be bought with money?
Yes.
Money can be bought for buying objects.
Yes.
Not peace, security, happiness.
Correct.
Then I should look some other means to see how peace and security can be.
What she is saying is, she is not concluding because her mind is willing to accept. She is not concluding. It is logically proven that with money, with wealth, I can buy objects. But peace, security, happiness cannot be. And she swallowed it. Yeah. The conclusion didn't happen. Why? Because as the last thing she swallowed it. The knowledge says iron and gold is good for buying iron and gold. Ramatirtha. About wealth, he just said it in one sentence. Iron and gold is good for buying iron and gold. He didn't bother to sit and explain all this. We are sitting and making stories out of all these big statements. Are you able to follow? Iron and gold is good for buying iron and gold. More gold doesn't mean more peace. More gold doesn't automatically result in more peace. If you don't have it, one kind of pain. If you have it, another kind of pain. The one who doesn't have it thinks that having it is joyful. The one who's having it says, oh my God, I wasted trying to have this. Why? Because Jnate Tattve Kaha Parivaraha. Bhajagovindam. Shankaracharya says about wealth in Bhajagovindam. We studied there also about it. Where there is wealth, there is a parivar around you. When wealth goes, where is that parivar? He asks. When wealth goes, where is that parivar? Huh? Bharya vipyati tasmin. Even the wife says, take the body away. Okay. He says the wife means the most attached one. That which you are most attached to, that which you are more possessed, not the wife, not the literally wife today. அது ஏன்னா இதெல்லாம் கேஸ் வேற போடுவாங்க இப்படி எல்லாம் சொன்னாங்க கேஸ்லாம் போடுவாங்க how can you talk about it like that and then there will be so means what it is a symbolic word of attachment. Are you able to follow? With wealth you believe everything can be purchased. You understand, intellect comes and says with wealth some can be purchased. That's the intellect. Simply if we say no, wealth is useless, intellect is not functioning. Are you able to follow? If intellect is functioning means you will say clearly with wealth what can be purchased and what cannot be purchased. That is clarity. Are you able to follow? Very important is this wealth. In a body level, most of the humanity is stuck at the level of the wealth itself. Wealth itself. Are you able to follow? So, as long as you believe that it can be purchased, you will be attached. As long as you think it can be purchased, you will be attached. What cannot be purchased? What cannot be purchased? With wealth, you can hire a servant. What you cannot hire? Integrity, honesty, you cannot hire. Extra $100 you give, more honest. Extra $1,000 you give, much more honesty. So you know with wealth you can hire a person, but what you cannot hire? The dedication in that person. The shraddha you cannot hire. Are you able to follow? Oh, but I'm paying you, no. Why can't you do this? Intellect says, adukku idukkum correlation kediyadhu. Are you able to follow? Intellect says, you are only hiring that person to do that. You are not hiring integrity, honesty. For 1,000 rupees, you will want everything. No. You will pay $10. And for that $10, what should the other person do? Be dedicated. First come on time. For what? For 10 rupees you give. First come on time. And when they come on time, they should be, how they should be? Very, very hardworking, very sincere, very dedicated, integrity. They should not steal. They should not do this. They should not do that. All for what? All for the $10. Are you able to follow? Intellect will have this clarity. Intellect will have this clarity. With wealth, what can you buy? You can buy this. With wealth, you can buy an exercising equipment. With health, you can buy all the gym equipments and keep it at home. Are you able to follow? Health cannot be bought. Health equipments can be bought. Books can be bought. E-books are வாங்கலாம், isn't it? Because nowadays printing books all e-books are in one small machine. You can keep the entire set of books. At least library is so easy to open there, you can see and pick up faster, isn't it? Where to keep so complicated this thing is. That's a voice command. You say it, it will find out, it will find and give you. Invariably, what it gives is not what you are seeking at all. With wealth, you can buy books and keep, and you can have a whole library. Buying the books is not becoming knowledgeable. Are you able to follow? It means you can be healthy without a health instrument. You can be knowledgeable without having to buy so many books. It means what wealth can give and what wealth cannot give. But people, all human beings are attached to wealth because they believe it can be purchased. That's what they talk about money, no? Buying capacity, they say, no? Huh? Purchase power, purchase power. I don't know what all power it is, but only one thing is what? But one power it has. Definitely. What is that power? To make you go mad. Yeah. One power it has to make you go mad. That is at the level of the wealth. Then at the level of the health. Then at the level of the health. What is at the level of the health? What is at the level of the health? Excessive pampering. Second is fearing diseases. Fearing pain, fearing diseases. When you have a body, what will be there? Diseases will be there. Fear. What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? He says, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Vasamsi jirnani yada vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Just as you discard worn out garments, you will discard the worn out scrap value. Scrap value would have the body, isn't it? At least the two-wheeler car has a scrap value. Human body doesn't have the scrap value also. That's an organ donation, isn't it? Do that, please. I'm not advocating that, please. It is not. So either excessive in indulgence or going to the other extreme. What is going to the other extreme? No exercising or dying of exercising. Unhealthy because of overeating or unhealthy because of dieting. So either way, it is disease, unhealthy, death only. This is how mind wreaks havoc at the level of the body. So what the intellect says, how the intellect corrects it, that also you need to know. No. How the intellect corrects it? It says it is an instrument of perception and action, and this instrument of perception and action has to be fit. Fit means a reasonable, usable condition with a little bit of knee pain, with little bit of joint pain, with a little bit of breathing difficulty, with a little bit of breathing difficulty, with a little bit of migraine. All that will be part and parcel of it, and you also continue to. Few more things are there which we will take up in the next class, because it is very important to understand how the mind wreaks havoc in each and every aspect. So understand the aspects. What are the aspects? Make a calendar of your own life. Make a calendar of your own personality, material, physical, action, relationship. Relationship means emotions, knowledge, intellect, religion. Make a chart of your own life and see how the mind is wreaking havoc and how a strong intellect helps. So what do? We are segregating it like that, and we are giving examples at each and every and each and every level, and in and through the example, a concept. What is the concept? For example, wealth. Attachment to wealth is because of the belief that everything can be purchased. With this, we conclude for today. There are some clarifications left behind, which I will take up in the next class and then continue on to the same topic, mind wreaks.